Hi there, friends. This is Jim Wortham. So good to see you for a second time on this comedy workshop. Now, let's call it comedy hour. And let's see if we can brighten your day up. Now, you got to realize I'm new at this. This is only the second time I've done it, and I've never thought I was able to tell a joke. Or at least if I told jokes, they fell on the floor and no one laughed. So I got to tell you something. I got to tell you something that happened. I tried to be a singer once, and it didn't work out. I was told by everybody that I tell you the truth. The last singing teacher I had said, and this is the truth. This isn't a joke. A person that was talented would not have to practice at all to sound better than you if you practice 7 days a week, 8 hours a day. And that's when I stopped trying to be a singer. And that's the truth, the absolute truth. I also took guitar lessons. I took the Greyhound bus from Pleasure Ridge Park, Kentucky to Louisville to Shackleton's. Shackleton's was a music center. What do you think they taught me? Mary had a little ham. Was that the name of it? Mary had a little lamb. I don't think I got that one right. And things like that. I was wanting to play rock and roll, folk music. I didn't want to learn how to play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. But I paid for it. I don't know if it's $25 an hour or $35 an hour. The Greyhound bus from Louisville to Pleasure Ridge Park costs money going both ways. I stop at the Greyhound bus station, and you gotta realize this was many years ago before things became as they are now, free and easy. This is when people followed me up the stairs going from the first floor up to the bathroom, the men's bathroom, and sort of hung around seeing what I needed to do there in that restroom. They were there to give me consultation if I was having problems using the restroom. Sometimes more than consultation. In Louisville, on Broadway. Went there each week. Was trying to be a poet. Right down the street from there was the Louisville public library. I went there and borrowed books on people that wrote poetry. I didn't know how to write poetry. There were drunks sitting there on the benches outside with whiskey, but the whiskey was in paper bags, so nobody knew they were drinking whiskey. They said they were poets and they'd teach me how to write poetry. Some of them made a nickel, dime, quarter, $5, $10, sending their poems in to magazines. They were going to be my teachers on how to write poetry. So they said, go in the library. Here's what we want to do. We haven't gotten to the comedy yet, have we? They said, go into the library and go to the poetry section and just go from one book to the other until you can understand what the poets are saying. Did that every week. Brought home a stack of books, of poetry books. Anybody I could understand and I felt like I could relate to, I checked them out. And I brought them back the next Saturday and I met with the drunks. And the drunks would sit down with me and they said, how about another snort? Yeah. Yeah. Another guy says, hey, that guy's getting ready to run out. I'm going to open my bottle up. We'll continue. And he told me how he sold his poetry. He had an old Smith Corona typewriter that was manual. And the keys were halfway working right. So some of them were dark and some of them were light. He didn't have a lot of money, so he didn't buy new ribbons for that Smith Corona typewriter very often. So I became famous. Gotta tell you what I did. I thought, well, I'll type my poems up and use carbon paper. I used 4 carbon papers for each poem, and I sent the original, or maybe I kept the original, the one that I typed. I sent the carbon copies to New York Times or New Yorker, Harper's Magazine, all the prestigious magazines. I don't have to tell you what happened, do I? They were all rejected. I didn't even know I had misspelled words. I didn't know that when I referred to a Mack truck, I spelled it with the wrong letters. Lord have mercy that someone like me could do that and not even put the rest of the cover of this on this so that it looks like I know what I'm doing. Me and the drunks every Saturday. Have you ever in your life drank early times bourbon. It's actually called a bourbon. I called it Firewater. My friends like that stuff. I never developed the taste for it. Times changed. I finished high school. I lost count of my friends. Yeah, I lost count. I don't know why I was so bad about keeping people's names and phone numbers and addresses. And it's been that way all my life. It's not been good. Is this sounding like a comedy yet? It will soon. Publish some books. Guess who got paid for them? Guess who paid for them? I paid to publish the books. Do you have any? Would you like to guess why I paid for my own books to be published? Give you one hint. I don't have to give you a hint. I'll just tell you what one magazine company told me that I submitted poems to, and they said, we don't publish this for the people we read, the people that read our publication. Our people read good poetry. So I published my own. And I'm not going to repeat stuff that may have been told funnier in other YouTubes down the line that I did months ago. But I will tell you something. This is what this whole thing's about. This is why I said it's a comedy. My books started selling. I self-publish them about one every 8 months. And I go to book conventions where I can meet with other publishers, meet with book distributors, meet with book buyers from bookstores. I did well there. Okay, they didn't have any negative stuff to say to me, which is fortunate because I have a life of before that of people saying negative things about me. Maybe that's happened to you too. And if it has, I'm sorry. So I'm in a Marriott hotel that I spent so much money in because that's where the convention center was in New York City for the Book Expo. Book Expo was where everybody in the world came in the book business. Anybody that could afford it would come. Bookstores, book distributors, libraries, publishers, anyone and everyone that was involved in the book business would show their books, collect orders, meet and mingle. I did meet and mingle with several different people that I had been writing to, that I had become friends with, because we both were self-publishers. We all were self-publishers, the ones I'm talking about. This is the funny thing. If there is anything funny here, I'm running up and down the hall. I get up early. I'm full of energy, getting ready to go to the book convention at the Marriott Inn, which is a few floors down. So I'm running up and down, and this lady comes out. I'm trying to exercise. Got to understand this. I'm trying to exercise. I was gaining weight from being at home, being in my apartment, trying to write. So I'm exercising, running up and down. Early in the morning. Before probably 7 o'clock in the morning. And this woman opens the door of her she opens the door of her room at the Marriott. Okay. She looks at me and she says, "Tell me a little bit about yourself. What's your name and what's going on this hour of the morning?" And I told her I wrote books and I was trying to stay in shape or get in shape, and I was doing a little exercising, and I had made a commitment to run up and down, run so much a day. At home, it would be on the road. Here, it was up and down the hallway. She's 85. She said, "Would you come in for coffee?" I said, "Of course. Of course I'll come in for coffee. I need to get hyped up as much as I can." She fixes me coffee. And she says, "You know, you've got a lot of energy, don't you?" Well, at that time I did. I was excited about being there at the book expo and about the possibility of lining up contracts with publishers and distributors and things like that. So I said, "Oh, I do." She says, "Well, you know, I'm 85 years old and I still have some energy. I still feel like doing things I used to do in my 20s. She says, "I sure could use some of your energy right now." I kept drinking the coffee. Can we go to the next part of the party? The book expo party. And there's a lot I'm going to leave out simply because there's not time. And I know if you get bored with me, there's no music going on. There's no that if you get bored, you'll turn me off. Well, I'll share with you something that you're going to find hard to believe. So I go out that day, and I'm on a subway, okay? And this woman, about 23, sitting right across from me. And she said, well, I don't know if I should say this or not. Her breast was sticking out of one side of her clothes, of her blouse. Her breast was totally sticking out. I'm talking about totally, where you could see everything. I thought someone should mention that to her. So I said, ma'am, I said, take a look over here on your left side here. I said, I don't know if you're aware of what may have happened over here on the left side. And she said, oh my God. Her breast was showing. It was hanging out there. She says, oh my God. I left my baby in the motel room. I left my baby in the motel room. Okay, let's go on. I couldn't fix that, okay? I couldn't fix that, but she knew how to fix it. She was going to get on subway and go back. Okay, now for the final thing, and I find this, and you'll find this likable, I hope. I always wanted to be a model. Did you? Did you want to be a movie star or a model or a singer? Any of those? Come on now, tell me the truth. Everybody wants their 5 minutes of fame. So I got a book on how to be a model. That's not the name of the book. But I got it in the other room. He wrote it when he was about 65 years old, so it chimed in good with me. So I do what he says, and I send out pictures of myself. Contact a few agents that work with different magazines. Well, I tell you what, you don't have to be 18 to be a model. Don't have to be 22. So here comes the phone calls. My goodness. These are tentative contracts for me to share myself as a model. Mostly showing underwear, undershirts, and briefs for older people. The biggest one, the biggest tentative, I say tentative, none of these have been literally signed yet between me and the company, but the agent says it's likely to come through. Dollar General Store sells men's briefs and t-shirts. They're interested. You're not going to believe this, because this chain is becoming so big across America. Dollar Tree. Now, yes, it used to be just $1 per product, but since they've upped it to $1.25 for each thing, they're able to get clothing. I'm on their consideration list. Again, for briefs, that's the bottom part below your waist, and t-shirts. Good deal. Now here's three more, and I was so thrilled to hear these three may be making a comeback. And these are very tentative because they're not for sure if they're going to actually come back or not. Spiegel. Spiegel's much higher class than the first two before they closed with their big catalogs. But man, let me tell you, if I get on Spiegel, I am going to be the model of the year. Number two, considering me, if they start publishing again, Montgomery Ward's Wish Book. Let me repeat that. Montgomery Ward's Wish Book. That's a biggie if they come back. Now for the big one. And the final one. They're thinking about making a comeback. They're thinking about competing with Walmart. And this will be for briefs. That's underwear. T-shirts. And actually, clothing like this. You ready for the name? Sears. Sears is going to compete if they can with Walmart. Well, finally, let me say, you can vote for a man to represent you in the White House. But there is no way to make him think. Have you had a good time tonight? Have we had fun? Have I said anything that makes you think? This is the second session of Jim Wortham's Comedy Hour, where I have never tried to show comedy in the past. So if you like it and you want me to do another one, a third one, and if you want to, hit that you liked it. And I hate to even ask you this, but there is a subscribe button. If you subscribe, that makes me know you want me to make another one, a third one. And if you get me on a roll, I can't say I'll do one every day, but I'll do them as often as I can. Now, I want to thank you for being with me during all this time, and I know it's been a long journey. I don't even know how to turn this thing off when I get ready to stop it, but I will do my best to be truthful, to make you smile, and to be real. I'll let you know this in advance. I don't have people writing scripts for me. I don't have people handing me papers of things to read to make you laugh. Most of what I share comes from experience. The part that doesn't come from experience will be things I wished came from experience. If you know what I mean. God bless you. Have a good weekend.